A researcher opens his laptop at a wedding in Bali. Why, you ask? Well, he works for Anthropic, and his specific job is to find out what their latest AI model could do in the wrong hands. And that work doesn't stop just because he's in Bali. What he finds is serious enough for the company to decide that this particular model is too risky for broad public release. The name of the model is Mythos, and the story of how it leaked, how that story traveled, and what it did to your sense of what AI actually is what I want to talk about. A few weeks ago, a configuration error at Anthropic left a draft blog post sitting in a publicly accessible corner of their own website. A journalist at Fortune found it, and in the post there was a description of a new model, the most capable Anthropic had ever built. It said that the model posed unprecedented cybersecurity risks and that the model was, and I quote, far ahead of any other AI model in cyber capabilities. The story spread fast. According to at least one major outlet, cybersecurity stocks started falling after Fortune broke the story. Within days, the US Treasury was summoning Wall Street leaders, regulators in Australia, Hong Kong, and South Korea were setting up task forces, and trade groups were writing letters to governments warning of systemic risk. Bloomberg sent reporters to dig deeper. And the details they found were alarming. Anthropic engineers with no security background could ask Mythos to attack a piece of software overnight, go to bed, and by morning they had a complete working hacking tool written by the model. As part of their safety testing, Anthropic pointed Mythos at real-world software to see what it could find. According to the company's own reports, it identified thousands of previously unknown vulnerabilities, flaws that had been sitting undetected in widely used systems for years. It was a story that was built for sharing. It was scary, it was specific, and it sounded authoritative. So it traveled fast. But the claims come almost entirely from Anthropic itself. The vulnerabilities cannot be independently verified, not because Anthropic is being secretive, but because publishing the details of an unpatched flaw is itself dangerous, obviously. So the information stays private until the software is fixed, which means the public is left with Anthropic's word for it. That doesn't mean the story is false, but I think it's worth noticing who told it. The company warning us about Mythos's terrifying power is the same company that needs investors, government contracts, and talent to believe it is building the most consequential technology on Earth. And yes, they claim that the leak was an accident, and maybe it was, but the story was definitely not bad for business. This phenomenon is not unique to Mythos or Anthropic. It's how the AI news cycle has been moving for some time. In 2024, Amazon scrapped a technology called Just Walk Out. These were checkout-free grocery stores powered by, they claimed, AI. Walk in, grab what you want, walk out. But what reporters found was that the system had been partially powered by over 1,000 workers in India. They were watching camera footage and manually verifying transactions. In January of 2025, Sam Altman predicted that AI agents would join the workforce that year and change companies completely. However, by the end of 2025, only 11% of organizations had agents in production. In one documented test, ChatGPT's own agents spent 14 minutes trying to select a value from a drop-down menu. And when Geoffrey Hinton resigned from Google in 2023, he said he left so he could speak freely about the dangers of what he had built. Hinton is one of the founding figures of modern AI. The story that traveled was this: the godfather of AI says it could destroy humanity. What he actually said was more careful. He had very specific concerns and made a call for coordination like we do when it comes to treaties for chemical weapons. Hinton was serious, but quite measured. The coverage, however, turned it into an apocalypse. And apocalyptic AI is not bad for the AI industry. If the man who built it is scared, it must be extraordinarily powerful. The doom story and the hype story are different in tone, but they are identical in function. The claims arrive loud, while the corrections and nuances arrive quite quietly, if at all. And in between those two, your understanding of AI gets shaped by what is, in essence, noise, regardless of which direction it's pushing you in. In 1967, a French philosopher named Debord published a book called The Society of the Spectacle. He was writing about television, advertising, and consumer culture, so nothing to do with the AI media ecosystem we live in now, because that obviously didn't exist yet. His argument was this: modern society has replaced lived experience with representations of lived experience. We no longer engage with reality directly, we engage with images of it. And those images are not neutral. They are produced by people with specific interests. The images circulate and they accumulate, and eventually they don't just describe the world, they substitute for it. Debord called this the spectacle. Not a single image or a single lie, but a system. A situation where the relationship between people and the world is mediated entirely by representation. What he noticed is that the spectacle doesn't need to deceive you completely. It just needs to occupy the space where your own thinking normally would have been. It keeps you reacting to the images instead of forming your own question about what's going on. Now think about AI coverage. The announcements, the demos, the warnings, the numbers. Think about how much of what you know about AI arrives as an image. So a headline, a video, some type of projection, produced by someone with something to sell, like a company protecting its valuation, or a journalist chasing a story that goes viral, or maybe a politician who needs AI to mean something specific at some specific time. The spectacle is meant to do two things. One, occupy your brain with the projection, not reality as it is, but as it is being told to you. And two, to do this through hitting your emotional buttons. Fearing AI means acknowledging it is powerful. Keeping you focused on the fear stops you from asking if it is indeed powerful. Here's what it costs you: the ability to think about something that is genuinely reshaping your life. And not in the abstract, but on all counts where it matters. You need to be able to think about those things clearly, to form real opinions and ask real critical questions based on the actual reality of these systems. But the information environment you're swimming in is not designed to help you do that. So what does Debord offer as a way out? Well, honestly, not much. His answer was revolution. Tear down the entire system of representation. And that's honestly not a great closer for a 6-minute video on social media. Here's the thing. You don't need his answer. You have your own answer. The next time a story lands, AI escapes containment, AI takes your job, AI cures cancer, don't ask first whether it's true. Ask who produced it, what they needed you to feel, and what question that feeling was designed to replace. And this is not cynicism. Cynicism is easy. It just flips the spectacle, replaces belief with dismissal, and leaves you exactly as passive. This is something harder. It's the decision to stay in the discomfort of not knowing and to keep asking questions anyway. And that's what I'm also trying to do with this series. Not give you answers about AI. Nobody really has them yet, including the people building it. But to discuss tools and frameworks to think with, to ask better questions. Because AI is genuinely reshaping how you work, how your children learn, and how decisions get made about you. And you deserve to have a say in that. But that requires being critical, asking questions, and being equipped to do both those things.